All right,
Or did
welcome
I? No, I'm pretty sure I didn't.
to the show, which is now called
Watch and
Complain.
Watch because movies and complain.
Yeah.
No, what? No.
Because movies make us complain.
Yeah, there you go. Watchingcomplain.com. Today on the show, we are watching, or have watched, and now will complain about.
And if people are listening to us, you could argue
Watch
that they're
and complain.
whacking off.
Okay, I don't
Where'd
know.
that come from?
Yeah.
Why?
Just make a
I
t-shirt.
thought is it a joke because you were gonna say
Turn
watch
that
and
whack
complain?
off. No, that doesn't work.
Oh,
I think it's
as in
because they-
watch and complain.
Because
Double
yeah, that
whack.
makes more sense.
How
It's
did
like,
you not put that
I was
together?
very slow on that
It's,
one.
it's hastily constructed. It's not the greatest.
Not like everything else we do, which we put so much effort into
How many
thinking about.
times did we change the name of
This
this?
is an A-level production, okay?
Army of Thieves.
The real question is how many more
Am I
times will
too
we change
close
the
to the
name?
green screen? Is that going to be a problem or
No,
no? Okay,
it
thank
likes
God.
the attention.
Yeah,
Especially all the cockroaches it hides behind it.
yeah. You should see my new bathroom.
What did you think of it? Not his bathroom.
Why do you think this came out at Halloween? Was that just like they just threw it on a dartboard and they're like, October 29th, sure.
Yeah, I think
Or it's
they
like
have-
maybe there's zombies in it. No, there's no zombies in this one. Oh, okay.
Holy crap. As if there
Too late,
wasn't
we already
another
picked-
reason to fucking dislike this shitty movie. Oh, there's no zombies either? Oh, great. We get to watch fucking Dieter talk about fucking Wolfgang Van Helsing or whatever guy he's talking about that made fucking locks.
Yeah.
Great. What a
Wagner.
fucking... I'm going to say, right when it starts, I'm like, all right, I'll sit down and watch this piece of shit. 2 hours and 9 minutes.
A little long, yeah.
I was like,
I
what
thought that
the
would-
fuck can you talk about with this loser of a character for 2 hours and 9 minutes?
Let's be fair. A lot of people like that character from Army.
No, they
Not
no,
for
they
2
don't. I
hours
have
and 9
never
minutes,
heard-
they don't.
I've
A
never
lot of
heard. I have
people-
never heard anybody say, "Oh, I love Dieter." To me, this is like the portion of like. I've never seen a studio so grossly overestimate
Yep.
like the likability of a character that they give
Or-
him a spin-off.
Which of these guys from Army of the Dead is going to be the cheapest for us to do a fucking knockoff prequel movie of that we throw together in 40 fucking days? Dieter.
The one that's already a filmmaker in their own right.
I'm willing to bet that he just threw it out there and was like, "Hey, Netflix," because he directed it, right?
Yeah, yeah. He's like, we
Oh,
already
that guy
got
did,
this
yeah.
going.
I thought
yeah.
you meant, what's his name?
Dieter
Hack
directed
Snyder.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like
I
he
like
just
that.
all he had to do was throw it out and say, "Oh, I can make this based on my character," and boom, Netflix. Oh, money.
It was so, well.
And I was
we'll
thinking
get into
about how Hans Zimmer scored this. I was thinking, why would Hans Zimmer score this like
I
movie?
think that Hans Zimmer is
Doesn't-
done scoring stuff.
I was thinking about how he's like he's German. He probably doesn't get to score a lot of German movies. So even
maybe.
though it's German English, I was like, yeah,
I just feel like he does roughly
I like
the
this
same
score.
thing.
I
Almost like
was
Jerry
thinking about it,
Goldsmith.
yeah.
There's a little bit of the
Sorry.
same fucking touch
I
in
like that
every goddamn movie that he does.
Yeah.
You know?
So run down the plot.
Okay.
let Phil or
Dieter
let Will
is
run it down.
A wannabe or has been, possibly. We don't know. But he has a blog similar to us, although not as popular.
No,
It-
his
it-
is far more popular than ours. Is one viewer.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So he,
Technically, we edge him out.
what do you mean technically?
Technically, we
Like,
edge 'em
definitely. We don't have Natalie Emmanuel watching us, unfortunately.
That girl is unfairly attractive.
What do you mean
My
unfairly?
goodness.
There's nothing unfair about that. But I want to get. I
God,
want to
she's
get
hot.
to that. I got confused because
And I keep on
watched,
calling her. I keep on calling her Domino because from fucking Deadpool, I
No,
constantly forget her
because
name.
that's not because I was thinking the same thing.
That's
I
not
had,
the Domino
No,
girl?
I had to-
Really?
she's in The Harder They
in
Fall.
The Harder They Fall,
The
that's right.
Army of Thieves. I watched them back
Oh,
to
that
back. and I got
Jaja Beats
confu-
chick. That
yeah.
chick sucks.
Yeah, yeah. Zazie Beats.
Zazie
I think
Beetz.
she's super hot.
Oh,
I
she's
think-
hot.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
as an actress, she made me want to fucking shoot myself.
And you
with one of
thought
those
Natalie
goddamn guns
Emmanuel
from the
was,
heart of the.
like, so
I did.
much higher?
I kept on calling her Domino.
Why? You're just saying that
Oh,
because she was
no.
on Game of Thrones and she's British.
Oh yeah, that's right. She was no, not
I've never been
Melisandre.
into her either.
Oh, hot. God, she's hot. Jaja Beats is cute,
Zazie?
but this
Isn't it Zazie?
I
or
can't.
Is Ja-
I
Jaja?
could
I think
honestly
it's Zazie.
fucking
Rather have
care
She's
Careless
less.
German.
Dragon.
Like she was born in Germany and she's American.
Nah, I'd rather have Domino or not Domino, but Emmanuel. I keep on forgetting her
See?
name.
That's
why I would
played
call
by
her
Zazie
fucking
Beetz.
Domino.
Because-
Zaza Beats can fuck off.
But she's Domino.
I know that, but she's the girl. This Emmanuel girl from Game of Thrones girl is hotter than
She
Dr.
definitely
Dre's Beats by Dre.
it seems that I don't know. I like them both, and I was wondering about like who's like the better actor, because it's like I feel
It's fucking pretty obvious after
feel-
watching these two movies.
Doesn't matter.
No, not with these movies, because the material doesn't really support them a lot. Like this isn't
disagree.
deep material at all.
It's not deep,
It's
but
deep enough to review on
Idris
it.
Elba does enough with his fucking role in The Harder They Fall. So does Jonathan Majors.
He does his thing.
Get back on topic.
Okay,
Oh,
Army
God.
of Thieves. Okay, here's what it's about.
Rob's favorite
Safecracker with a blog gets recruited by a group of people who, I guess, for the purposes of this movie, you would call an army, right? To thieve.
What the fuck
from
is
a bunch
Army?
of thieves.
Yeah, what is
Yeah,
the
it's
Army
just a
Thieves? Is that
quick
supposed to be the
grab.
fucking group?
From Army
of the Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so the general public will go, oh, I guess those are it's the same character.
Okay, people like.
And that's literally all there fucking is. That's the only similarity
No,
because it's the
there's
same
some
fucking
zombie
guy.
stuff in
Anyway, so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like classic.
Don't go to America.
The most popular thing in Hollywood right now, which is just do half-ass a heist movie. This is that movie.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, a heist plot. Let's do that like 10
It's
times
easy.
for everything.
Yep.
The Avengers
Jesus.
did it. It's like there's nothing you can't shoehorn a heist plot
It's
into
become a
these
trope.
days. Yes.
Well, the worst is they had movies like Ocean's 11, which I don't like Steven Soderbergh, but goddamn, Ocean's 11 is a good fucking
Probably
heist
the
movie.
best heist
Right?
movie of the 21st century.
And then I think that movie was so successful and so good at what it did. We've had a whole bunch of these knockoff. Hey, just kind of
Ocean's 12.
Because I was thinking
Ocean,
around
was
the
it Ocean's 8 with the women? Like
I was thinking it was
9.
probably
I
with
can't remember.
I don't know.
I think it was probably Fast Five in 2011 where they decided to turn it into like a heist movie with
That was
real.
fun.
That was
The
the,
safes.
but that was where they started shoehorning heist plots and everything, and then they did it in Ant-Man. Even though there's not really much of a heist really at all in that movie.
I don't get why they shoot that into a Marvel, but I will say
I thought it was brilliant usage in Endgame too, because they actually do like they are stealing time, and they actually go through like they gave a shit about the screenplay in Avengers Endgame.
That was fun in that game, that little
yeah.
heist at the end.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
with Army of Thieves, or what are we watching? Army of Thieves. So the one thing I want to point out right out of the gate that's fucking stupid is Dieter von Schnitzeldick, or whatever the fuck his name is. He records a video that goes up on YouTube. So he's on this public medium called YouTube. And then the French guy that can't figure out who they're using to fucking rub the thing. Sacre bleu! Can it be this band that we're finding on YouTube? I'm like,
No, obviously, he has not seen it because it's got 0 views.
Yeah. Those
how
things
would
are
you
buried.
know?
So the fact that he even
he's
found
supposed
it,
to be
like,
a
how did
fucking
he even
hacker
find it?
extraordinaire, and he's finding out
bad
what
guy?
fucking the French cop with the bullet in his ass.
No, he's just a cop.
He's supposed to be. I thought
At
they're
what-
supposed to be the
at
fucking
what
ultra
level?
hacker guys.
Yeah,
But,
the Interpol.
A
Yeah,
main
yeah.
thing about this.
And this guy can't find
Interpol
a
can't.
YouTube fucking guy who talks
it's
about
buried.
I'm gonna I hack into
I've
fucking
noticed that-
safes, especially these 4 fucking safes.
Okay.
Interpol doesn't do any of this, by the way. Interpol
What do you mean in real
is
life?
a
I'm sure they
liaison.
do. Is a what?
A liaison between different organizations.
Liaison.
Oh yeah.
They
yeah.
don't.
Then what the fuck is he there for
They're-
in the first
Exactly.
place?
It's a flub.
Yeah.
Oh fuck,
He
flub.
can't arrest anyone. He's Interpol.
I saw that and I was like, this is so fucking dumb. This guy's got a public YouTube channel where he's talking about these 4 safes. Sacre bleu, who can it be? I was like, dude,
Okay, but
fuck
again,
off.
You'd have to find one YouTube channel. That's
He's tracking
that's
not
hardly
Domino.
Seen, and
He's tracking not Domino, so he should know all the shit that not Domino.
Natalie
can't just
Natalie
naturally-
Emmanuel. It's too confusing.
all of a
Not
sudden
Domino.
you just know every single YouTube channel.
If I
no.
go, so I had a video. So it's interesting because I had a video
Google the name of the safes.
this
It'll
week.
come up.
But then you do only get the popular stuff. You don't get the people that have.
Yeah,
trust
Who
me,
the fuck else is
trust me.
talking about this shit?
Look up
But I've-
because movies on YouTube, and you'll see there's no.
Yeah, it
nothing.
won't show up. It won't.
What if I look up watch and complain? Are we
Even
gonna
if
be
you,
right at the
yeah,
top?
it'll be nothing. You'll have to go for maybe 10 pages. Even then, it won't show up. I know because I have a video with Terry McAuliffe, who he's a Virginia governor, no longer. He lost the election. But I had a video. I'm like, oh, perfect. This can be more popular because he's in the news this week because of the election. And I looked for it. I even looked for it like on my own channel. Half the time it didn't come up. Even if you search Terry McAuliffe film gamer, it still doesn't come up. So the fact that this guy even like going the other way stumbled upon this guy's video is kind of
People
ridiculous.
should look up
and it was
not
the first,
Domino watch and complain.com.
It was the first movie I watched where I'm like, oh yeah, there's so much media now that it actually doesn't even matter that he's like broadcasting his, because nobody would actually be able to find it, and even if they did, it wouldn't matter because it's not like he's admitting, he's not admitting to the crime that he's about to commit anyways, and he can just be like, oh, that was
There,
me, that was some
there
other
is
guy.
a very popular YouTube channel that is the locksmiths cracking something.
Fuck off, Fly.
Yeah, I know. There's so many of them around now.
And he
That's the first Fly I've seen like in a
goes
while.
through as
in the
many
house.
locks and combination locks and everything and sees how vulnerable they are. So this, in this case, that would come up first. Not this guy who has zero.
Yeah,
no
yeah.
one
So-
cares about this guy. 'cause
We should have
he's-
had a cameo by those locksmiths. That would have improved the movie. That would have
Not
done
Domino goes to
Natalie
Dieter
Emmanuel.
and says, "We're gonna hire you because you made a fucking video that got 1 view and I was the 1 view." And he's like, "Oh, I would love to do this." So she brings it back to see the rest of the people in this crew. And I knew this wasn't going to be a good movie, right? I had zero hopes for it. This fucking crew should just be called like generic crew skin
Yeah.
for whatever goddamn movie you're going to do. What the fuck is this loser
I
fucking
gotta say
crew?
something about this crew, and this bothered me so much, is that the other girl in the crew, because there's always the other girl, she is so hot. She is so hot, and
slut.
she is like throwing himself at this guy who's like never talked to a woman in his life, and he's holding out for Natalie Emmanuel, and I'm like, okay, dude, like Natalie Emmanuel is very pretty.
You gotta try it out, make sure you know what you're doing,
but
and
it's
then
like
move
this
on to
girl
Natalie Emmanuel.
wants him right then, and then it's like right then that's like the first mistake that the movie makes. It's like, okay, we're gonna do this bullshit will they won't they for somebody who in real life would never be interested in him, and it's not even gonna be it's not even gonna be
necessarily
realized.
Not to
Wait,
mention-
let me finish. It's not even gonna be realized till the end of the movie, when in reality the better screenwriting decision is to have them hook up and then have some kind of internal conflict go that way, of like they hook up and then he gets a chance with Natalie Emmanuel, and then that leads to some internal conflict through it. That would at least be more of something
That
than this.
also
But it
gives
bothered me
these
that-
characters anything other than the fucking
Plot to
stock
do.
that they are. Like, oh, I'm the hacker girl. I'm a bad bitch. You go, girl. I can fucking hack. Look at me, and I'm on Windows 7. I can
You
fucking
do that-
hack.
You can give anyone that trait.
I realize you can do
Anyone.
that now.
Anyone.
And then the badass guy, I'm fucking Brad Cage or Luke Cage or whatever the fuck
Yeah,
his
his name
fucking
is
was.
Cage. I actually
Fucking
didn't remember.
funny.
That guy's a fucking dick.
That's the point.
Every single
Why did
person
they have
in that group.
to? You know what I don't get is like, why did they have to betray him? There was like no reason to.
It makes no fucking
He
sense.
doesn't. He doesn't want to. It's like then I'm like, fuck.
Internal
If he gets
drama.
caught, then if he
What
gets
fucking internal
but
drama?
it's like Phil. If he gets caught, then he's just gonna finger all of them in real life and be like, those guys.
Speaking of people I'd finger in this movie, not Domino.
Rubio.
You mean Natalie Emmanuel?
Yeah, Natalie Emmanuel's Dominoes.
What's her? Look up her character name.
So Ruby. No, first
Ruby.
Is her name Ruby in the
Of all,
movie?
First of all,
Okay, don't
the
answer.
hacker is Ruby O'Fee.
The actress or the character?
The actor. Her actual name is Ruby O'Fee.
Big deal.
Very
Okay.
pretty. She was
She
great. She was
is-
good. I'll give her a pass.
She was adequate. Everybody in this movie was
She is
adequate.
The girlfriend of the director.
Is she really? Maybe that's why
Yeah,
she wouldn't
that
fuck him.
That happens
That
all.
was the
No,
internal
because
joke.
usually
That's
no.
why they did it.
If you guys
It was
watch,
like-
if you guys watch Spring Breakers, though,
Oh, God.
Harmony Korine directs his wife, and she's into some scenes in that movie, and it's like because you're more comfortable with the director. I always think, and I think about
Jesus.
this, if I was ever in a movie like that, it's like you let them go as far as you can. Like I believe Kate Winslet was with Sam Mendes
Mm-hmm.
at the time of Revolutionary Road. She goes to some places she hasn't been before, relationship
Well,
wise,
then there's
emotionally.
like Krasinski and Emily Blunt and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, yeah. So it's
Can
like
you
always
imagine?
should.
My God, somebody's married to Harmony Korine.
But it's like
Does she have any self-respect?
isn't Harmony Korine is a guy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I was saying, does she have any self-respect?
I don't know. It's like it's the same thing people say with Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian of like they're famous or they're successful, so it doesn't like really matter if you're with somebody who's successful. Then it's like that's already a win.
I just like a Harmony
Doesn't matter.
Korine movies. I'm like,
Why
ew,
should
this
that
makes,
be
this
a
makes me
win?
dirty.
Well, because it's like the women like to be with, and men too, obviously me, I'd love to be with like just another successful partner who has like a job and is like stable. They're like, do you want to be a part of what I'm doing? Yeah, sure, absolutely.
That's
like,
a
it doesn't
bonus. It's
that's
not
fine.
something you should seek after. You
It's
should
not
seek
something
after
you should
someone
seek.
you are great with, and if they are successful.
But if they're
that's
making
great.
movies, then absolutely, that's definitely an answer.
So
Movies
pour
are
yourself
fun.
to people who are making movies.
An interesting
Absolutely.
thing that happens in Army of Thieves
Fired.
is they're under the clock, or sorry, under the gun. We got to make sure we get this done in under 2 minutes. All right, Dieter von Schnitzeldick, are you ready to fucking open up this safe? This safe was designed by Hermann Gunther, and in the story of it, I'm like, what the fuck? Open the fucking safe. That's your whole job.
Is
I
this
don't
the
give a shit
final
about
safe that he opens. Or
He
the
does
other
it for
one?
fucking every one of them.
Yeah.
I don't give a
every
fuck
single
about the
one of those
backstory.
safes opens in the
Holy
exact same
fuck,
way,
dude.
Every
why
single
don't,
one of them.
Why don't you
opens the
fucking
same
tell
way.
this while we're talking about the fucking plan? This first fucking safe, he fucking decided that, oh, you know what, I don't like pretzels, and then he was gonna find a woman that poured salt all over the pretzels, and he was like, I don't want that salt. Don't fucking do that when you're trying to lockpick the fucking safe and you're under like 10 or 2 fucking minutes to get it unlocked.
But this is like that
feels
kind of
time.
movie where you know that there's not.
Every time they did that, I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
It
I hate that it's over 2
Yeah,
hours.
you're like, dude.
At minute 90, I'm like, they could have told this
fuck.
story in 90 minutes. What is it with movies that have to be longer now? Because I thought about that for The Harder They Fall. I'm like, yeah, it's like it could be. Both of them could be shorter. I get why they're not. Like, I find The Harder They Fall fills its time. And I didn't feel that Army of Thieves wasted as much time as Army of the Dead. But it's like they're both like it's never too egregious, but it's like they could have found ways to cut this down.
Fuck.
But why
they
do you
could have had
guys
one
think,
fucking safe instead of fucking 4.
do you think that the budgets are so bloated now that they're like, let's have
That's what I think it is.
which is funny because the movie that had the highest opening of the year was Venom, and that movie clocks in and out in 90 minutes.
Yep.
Another movie that was an unexpected success was Godzilla vs. Kong. Fortunately, like this, they had already made it, and then the last one bombed or wasn't as successful as they wanted
If you
it to
can
be.
get an extra half an hour on your film, you're getting more money for the actors, the director, everyone.
I don't think I don't
You're
think
getting more
necessarily.
money. Are
but
you?
I
It's
think
longer time. That
I
means
think
you can say, "Oh, I need extra time to do it."
It costs more money.
there's
maybe.
this
The longer you're
idiotic
making a movie, the more
ideology
money you're making.
that the movie industry tries to, and we kind of believe it in our heads. We see a super thick book, and we're like, that must be a great book because it's so long.
Yeah.
And then you go to a movie, you're like, holy shit, this movie's 4 hours. 10 Commandments is 4.5 hours long. This might be a great movie. 10 Commandments, I have never in my life been able to stay awake for the entire fucking movie.
I don't think we do that anymore, like as a society.
But you'd think a lot of people are going to watch this movie and go, 2 hours and 9 minutes must be good if it's so long. And then they
Yeah.
watch something like fucking Psycho that clocks in at what, a minute or an hour 30. It gets all of its story out, moves at a fucking crazy fast pace. And it's a great fucking movie. You watch something like Back to the Future, an hour and a half, nice fucking
I
quick, fast
completely
movie.
agree with
Have you guys seen The Wolf of Snow Hollow?
No.
At all? It's like made by this indie director, has a movie coming out this weekend, Jim Cummings. I speak to him on Twitter.
The guy
Yeah.
that made Winnie the Pooh.
He also made that's A.A. Milne made Winnie the Pooh.
No, Jim Cummings is the voice of Winnie
Oh
the
right,
Pooh.
yeah. Anyway, he made a werewolf movie last year with Orion Pictures called The Wolf of Snow Hollow. That movie, I watched it twice because it was so short. Like it's 80 minutes in and
Nice.
out, and it's like a detective movie, a police movie. And it's like they're hunting a werewolf in, a sleepy small town thing. And it's like, it's expansive enough that you can get into like the cop's daughter's life, and that's interesting, but there's not too much of it. There's his life, there's his like corruption subplot, there's like room for like the coroner to do something, but it establishes the world building and everything in like super like the things that Steven Spielberg does, where you establish everything within like the first 20 minutes.
Yep.
And it's like these movies now, they just can't do that.
Nope.
And I don't know why.
They're so fucking bloated that they think everybody, and this is
so obsessed
ultimately
with what
one of the biggest people who's at fault for it is Hack Snyder. Is he decides that, hey, you know what? We need to show Superman's origin story and Batman's origin story. You don't. We all know what it is. Do the fucking Spider-Man thing. Just say, yeah, give me Spider-Man. Done.
Yeah.
They don't
line
even
of
they don't
dialogue
even
even.
include his fucking origin story. But a lot of movies nowadays, and this is another reason for their massive fucking bloated runtime, is everybody has to have their own fucking arc. Like, dude, the fucking guy that
But I
walked
don't
across the
even-
camera needs his fucking arc. Like, no, they
But
don't.
what's Dieter's arc in this movie?
I'd argue that by the end of it, he's learned that I can do it. I've achieved what
Okay.
I wanted to achieve, but
I
there's
am
only one out there that I've got left.
And that leads
God.
into the best movie ever.
Fuck. I will say the only thing I definitely preferred Army of the Dead to this, which makes me sick because
Wow.
it's directed by
Really?
Zack Snyder because of the zombies. The zombies at the start of Army of the Dead, that makes that movie worth it because it's funny. The rest of the movie is garbage, but that opening with all the zombies, that made me fucking
My
laugh.
problem is just that this movie in particular is designed to be less than Army of the Dead.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So and it's like the classic story of like,
it's designed
is
to be
this
a cash-in.
story happening at the best time in this character's life, and if so, like why not? You know.
Well, in the next week we are reviewing the life of the helicopter pilot from Army of the Dead.
Tig
So-
Notaro.
I'm joking. That's
I
not-
thought you meant
that's not a thing.
Crystalia.
So, yeah, fuck. Speaking of someone who's fucking,
He was edited. Did you guys know
Yeah.
that? I didn't even notice
but yeah, that was a good point. I didn't notice it.
until I read about it afterwards. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember reading.
But then you
that
go
he was-
back and look at it, you're like, oh,
oh,
yeah, it's kind of obvious.
Oh yeah,
now.
why are you standing by yourself in green screen
So
close-up?
tell me what happens in this fucking movie between they break into the first fucking safe, then something, then they break into the second safe, then something, and then gets to the third safe. I was so
Do they go through three?
fucking
I wasn't sure
disinterested.
if they did 3 or 4.
I was so
They did three.
disinterested in all of this movie that I'm like,
There's a
it is-
fourth one, which is an Army of the
yeah,
Dead.
the Gottermadung or
I
whatever
thought
it's
there were
called.
so there's 4 and not 5 because I thought there was 5.
4 in total. No, 4 in
I
total.
think 4 in total. But I
Yep,
could
4
be
in total.
wrong.
But it's like
Because he
we-
goes to 3, and the fourth one, the Gottermadung or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
it's called, that's the one from
It's
Ar-
just
Ar-
like
or
them
Army
doing
of the-
Point Break, and it's like I like the
Point
Point Break remake better than this movie.
This was a cash grab, and that's all.
and it was a total reference to Point Break.
and it
I
got
like
its money.
Yeah. Did you like the bike chase? At all?
No.
I thought it was okay.
I was
didn't-
barely
I
paying
don't
attention.
remember.
This is
You
another
know-
one of these movies that
Why
is
are we reviewing this
that
movie?
is forcing me to try to not pay attention to it. The only fucking movie we watched this week that was trying to keep my attention was Finch.
Rob, keep it for the show.
The other ones were forcing me. We're literally going, dude, there are
We're
so
looking-
much other things to do in this house that you can do right now. Or you can watch this.
so-
I fucking told you,
so-
I needed to watch a stupid movie in 20-minute increments. I would watch it for 20 minutes,
you
pause
want-
it, and go and fucking do
I want
something.
to talk about how we each watched it because, like, me watching this movie, I hadn't watched it yet for this show.
This one I
and
didn't
it was
fall
li-
asleep in.
And it was like 3 o'clock, and you know, we started this at 6. I'm like, okay, I got 3 hours to like watch this movie, so I put it on my laptop, which I
Then you
never
find out
do.
it's 2 hours and 9 minutes
Yeah,
long.
and I'm like, oh, like that's what I'm thinking about. It's like, okay, I do that. Meanwhile, my brother is like packing up around me and stuff like that. So then, like partway through, I'm like, okay, like I can't just sit here and watch it on my laptop. Like I can't watch a crappy movie. I got to watch it in the best thing. But I can't go downstairs because it's like then I'll get interrupted for this or that reason. So I then
I'm trying to pay attention to Army of Thieves.
So
Be
that-
quiet.
I then plug it. Yeah, and it's like that's not a defensible thing.
Right? They'd be, what are you,
Yeah.
a fucking idiot? Army of Thieves.
Yeah, yeah.
Say
A
that
mo-
back to yourself.
A movie that I'm only watching because we have this podcast.
So
And-
out to
wait. And
yeah, then we need your story, Phil.
Yeah.
I don't have
So
one.
I plug it into my HDMI, and then I'm watching it on my 32-inch TV, but my TV does this shitty compression and it drops a few frames. As I was talking to Rob about earlier, but I'm still enjoying it because again, this is the movie. It doesn't demand too much.
So now it's
No.
Army of Thieves.
you don't
Yeah.
need a perfect screen
So,
for this.
and then I'm like, and then we're getting to like 4.
Only when
4:15.
Not Domino's is on screen. Then
Sounds like a pizza place.
show them
knockoff
I want
titties.
root beer
when you
jugs
say.
to be in this.
But we're at 4:15, and then I'm like, okay, I gotta get ready to go over here. So I put it. I do for the first time the
got ready?
Netflix download on my phone.
and played it 2 times faster.
Yeah, and I
Whoa! I have to stop you. 4:15.
at Or
PM.
it's 5:15 p.m.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I was
So
like, you got ready for 2 hours just to be here?
He had
Yeah.
to pick the right outfit. Hair perfect.
I did think about my
Coiffed.
outfit because I didn't like how small and white I was.
You know how I got ready to get over here? I took a dump and then I came over.
Yeah.
That's Phil's whole story on how he watched Army of
But I
Thieves.
did wear antiperspirant this week, so high five. I can
Kind of don't want to high five, especially after that dump story. But
Who knows if he washed his
I
hands?
finished.
If I don't do it there, I do it here.
I finished the. I didn't want to do it here because then I'm worried. I'm like, well, I don't. This movie has enough problems that we're discussing.
plug
I don't
our
want to
ears.
discuss more problems of bathroom humor and stuff
Bathroom.
over. Yeah, there's enough problems we discuss on this podcast. You know, Phil's wait.
Loss
for
of
As
fathers.
long as you don't take a
Phil
dump in
can't
the fish
eat.
tank.
what?
As long as you
Exactly.
don't take a dump
That's
in
not
the
part of
fish tank.
Super 8-Bit Mario.
Yeah. But we were talking about somebody mentioned Hoobastank earlier today when we were talking. So it's like that.
Out
fills
of
in.
10.
Wait. I
Oh.
didn't finish. So I finished the movie when I go and I turn the ignition onto my car to drive away, which is good because I don't have to watch and drive. Because why would I do that? For a
Can you
shitty
imagine
movie?
getting killed and you were watching Army of Thieves?
Oh, the worst.
How much would that fucking suck?
It would suck.
What
It would.
killed him?
Yeah.
He drove
man.
into traffic because of Army of Thieves.
Yeah. From now.
On that note,
Wait. I want to ask something though. I want to ask something. Is like, is it worth like in the future? Should I like struggle so hard to watch a movie for this show, or should I just not bother if I know it's gonna be shit like
the
Army of Thieves?
base
It's not
3.
shit, but it's fine. You can watch it if you have time, and you'll be like, that's okay. Like it's a movie to fold laundry to.
Yep, that's exactly what I'd say.
And that's
when
what
it's
it's
a
made
movie
for.
that you, especially with this, because it's such a generic piece of shit that you don't need to. All you need to know is he breaks open some safes. Not Domino loves him at the end. Everybody's gonna
Do
break
they
up.
even kiss? Yeah,
No,
they do.
And then
but
remember she gets.
to answer his question, as someone out there, yeah, you don't need to watch it.
No.
Yeah.
You do.
Well, I mean,
No,
yeah.
if it's the main
But
three things that we're
you
reviewing,
don't
then
need to be
yeah. If
paying
it's
ultra
three that
attention
we-
to it.
Yeah, but
Yeah, you don't
in my
have to pay
opinion,
attention.
none of these movies are worth reviewing. I mean, like we'll get to that, but
But that's just what's out mostly.
No, that's
I have
what
a
you
future
choose.
question. I have a future
You
question.
force
though.
us.
Guys. I
That's
have
my
a future
job.
question. Do you think that they will do a third movie in this franchise?
I think they will
Yeah.
because this made money.
But who's going? But it's for Netflix, so it's like that's immaterial.
Look at
I
fucking
think
that
they'll come
stooge
back to
Adam
zombies.
Sandler gets
so
to make
you
these
think they're gonna
stupid
get?
movies
You
for
think
Netflix.
that Zack Snyder is gonna be able to get around to making a sequel to
I
one
don't
of
think
his
it's
own?
going to be Zack Snyder.
No,
Yeah,
I-
yeah.
so
Who do you
be-
think
Someone
would?
else, it'll be a zombie movie to
It'll be
follow
like
up or
Workman-like.
prequel.
Yeah.
Yep. It'll be Zack Snyder's fucking little what's his
One
team?
of his cronies.
crew.
Yeah, exactly. His little crony crew,
So
like,
who
like
could
the
that
Happy
be?
Acted in
Gilmore
one of these
gang.
movies.
As long as it's
Oh,
not
fuck.
David Goyer.
Okay, so
Can you imagine?
So-
Jesus.
out of 10.
But then what would that be about?
No, out of 10.
It's fine.
We're going over.
I spent a
out of
lot.
10.
Oh, okay. What are we at, by the way?
28 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
Out of
Halloween
10.
was 40.
Out of 10,
We're aiming for 20.
I don't know. For this movie, out of 10,
6.5, but it's an okay 6.5.
I'm going to do a 4. I was so
know what, I'll
being
do a
forced
6
to not
then.
pay attention. 4.
6.
Oh, wait, that's not true. Not Domino brings it up to a 5 because she's so super hot.
She's nice. She has a good presence, and then the German girl is very attractive and nice.
Not Domino.
I liked him more than I liked him in this movie, but that's because, I liked him more in this movie than I did in Zack Snyder's because Zack Snyder doesn't treat anybody like a human being. In it.
Also, Zack Snyder can't figure out, in all the fucking movies
I
that Hack Snyder's done, he cannot figure out how comic relief is supposed to work. It amazes me that guy is still allowed to direct movies when he is so bad at it. It's astounding.
White man failing upwards.
Please go to watchandcomplain.com. Not
To watch us complain.
.org.
Or watch
.com.
this and complain about how bad of a job
Yeah,
we're
don't
doing.
watch this movie. Don't
comments.
let Netflix make more of these. The same way you should avoid Adam Sandler, avoid this shit because it sucks.
All our socials is that.
Socials are.
Can you add those to the bottom of or the top of the screen at the end?
Why don't you get out of the way and you
They're
can put
all
them right
watch
there?
and complain.
Yeah.
Watch and complain. Watch and complain. Watch and complain.
Fuck off, fly.
I was
off,
gonna kill
fly.
that. I know how to kill one with my bare
That's
hands.
it.